Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother, the youngest one in curls.
It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with three boys of his own. They were foremen, living all together, yet they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
I think you're probably familiar with that theme song.
Heck, I know the harmony.
Did you wind up singing other words to it? Barry Williams, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. I just rolled in last night.
Yeah. I can still tell you that you look like you would have looked as a teenager.
20 years later.
20 years later. Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay, fair enough.
You're very recognizable, in fact.
Thank you.
But much more grown up and much more mature.
Fewer pimples.
You never had that problem, did you? The Brady family was perfect.
Not that you could see. Well, yeah, but the Brady family had a makeup man. This is something that not a lot of people have in their own family.
I was just telling you, I think
people ask me, why can't our family be like the Brady Bunch? And I say they can. You get a group of writers and a good director, and then a nice sound stage with a fake set, and and someone to bring your clothes to you every day.
That was one of the things that Robert Reed was always critical about, wasn't he?
You mean?
Well, the fact that he didn't like the scripts,
the level of believability. Well,
yeah.
He was he approached the business from a very serious kind of place. He studied in England, and he brought the same level of intensity to every project he worked on. I know he was through here last year in Love Letters, yes?
Right, and in fact, in February, he sat right where you're sitting now.
Well, he would approach the Brady Bunch in the same way that he would approach Shakespeare, and there was just no room in between. And if there was a small hole, like if Alice was to go into the kitchen and bring out a cake with 35 candles lit, he would want to know when she had time to light them. And if they couldn't give him a satisfactory answer, then he wouldn't be in the scene.
So, really?
Yeah. So there were several episodes he wasn't in at all.
Yeah. Was it fun to work with him as a kid, or?
It was fun. It was educational. He became like a mentor. I learned a lot about acting, things that I still use every night on stage when I'm working, and it was more like a relationship of someone who was giving me the benefit of their experience.
Yeah. Now the Brady Bunch is still running on television.
Yes.
And
has been for 2 decades.
My kids, when they found out that you were going to be in studio, just went crazy. You get to interview.
Isn't that
Craig?
Fun? That is one of the nicer side effects of this. Is it's become kind of multi-generational. Last spring, I came up with a book that described all our experiences of growing up on the show, and from the different points of view of the cast members, and what it's like growing up in show business.
In fact, I think Robert Reed wrote the foreword to that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And it talked a lot about child actors and the impact on their lives. I would do book signings and go into a Walden Books, for instance, and sit down, and I'd have women in their 30s and early 40s buying the book for their daughters, and then I would have daughters that were 12, 13, 14 come and say, "Oh, I'm going to get this for my mother, and she will die." So it was fun because there is kind of a multi-generational impact.
We can talk more about this. Barry Williams is in the latest show at Conklin Players Dinner Theater. I had a great time out there. The people are so wonderful to be around. You are going to love it.
This looks like it's going to be fun. And for me, especially because it's so intimate. I've been touring around the country for the last year and in large houses, auditoriums and theaters that were 1,800, 2,000, 2,500 seats. And I just got a chance to look at the barn last night, and it looks like it's a family experience.
Larry Linville looked at it and he said, it looks like a ship or a boat turned upside down.
Yeah, like Noah's Ark, doesn't it?
Bernie Kopell said, it looks like the inside of a violin. and he made the comment, I never really realized it before, but when you were in there, the acoustics are perfect.
No,
It just works out great. You're in some theaters, and sometimes you have to, what? What did they say?
I'm going to have to ask Bernie when the last time he was inside a violin.
I don't. He's the kind of guy that would examine it closely, too. He's a real stippler, too, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, not a stippler, but a stickler. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Fastidious.
That's it. That's it. Barry Williams is here. It's 20 minutes in front of 11 o'clock. If you have a question, feel free to give us a shout. 829-2345 or 1-800-322-9377. This is going to be a busy week for you, I can tell.
I hope so.
You have rehearsals and...
We started last night. We wasted night. I landed and we went on over there and had a read through, and so we feel like we're a little bit ahead of the game. Yeah.
Paisley Convertible is the show. Have you done it before?
Never have done it before. I hadn't read it until Sean's called and said, asked me if I'd be interested in doing it, and I read it, and it's hysterical. It's a lot of fun to do.
It's going to be opening on the 13th. We'll talk more about that. Is that right? The 13th?
13th?
Yeah, next week. Don't go away. Stay with us.
We want shirts! We want shirts! We want shirts!
We're inside Winnie's Menswear with William Fike Jr. This is really chaotic, Bill.
People have been known to try and knock down the door to get into Winnie's semi-annual clearance sale. You can save up to 50% on such famous name brands as Cricketer, Bill Blass, and H. Freeman & Sons.
We want shirts! We want shirts! We want shirts!
Bill, I think you're going to have to open that door or they're going to go right through it.
Not me. I'm going back upstairs to my room. It's Murph's turn to open the door.
We want shirts!
Oh, no, it's too late. Here they come. Get ready for Winnie's semi-annual clearance sale.
Winnie's semi-annual clearance sale starts today with 20 to 50% off Winnie's already discounted prices. It's the best selection anywhere at the best prices. Winnie's, your higher quality discount store in the 400 block of North Main in downtown Bloomington, next to Alliance Optical.
WJBC is pleased to offer this instructional guide on how to use the various radios in your life each day. When arising each morning, tune that receiver inside your shower, the one stuck to the shower wall. Tune it to the AM dial, to AM 1230 for award-winning WJBC news, tips on what to wear from a real meteorologist, incisive reports on agribusiness and sports, and occasional humorous repartee. While driving to work, punch the button on your AM band to 1230 to find out which of McLean County's important people our morning team is talking to or about. While at work, take charge of that radio in the office. Take it off that music and tune it to the AM band, AM 1230, for the real radio you need so you won't lose touch. Then, punch up WJBC's drive time news on the way home, because a lot of people have been out there making news all day, and it's important you keep track of them. There will be, on occasion, those who wish to turn on the TV at your house after dinner. But there is always a radio in another room where you might tune AM 1230 for sports, news, great music, and conversation. If you follow these instructions, you will, in fact, be a happier and likely a better person. Thank you.
You too can win great prizes and get in on money-saving discounts if you have a WJBC Gold Card. Our Gold Cards are free at Haycraft Circle H Boots in Wapella, Denny's Donuts and Bakery at 1531 Fort Jesse Road in Normal, and Country Company's Vehicle Leasing on GE Road. I hope you won't take this the wrong way.
I'm pretty tough.
But did you and Florence really have
A date?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Could you blame me?
Was it about a year ago? I think the word got out. Well, she was on some show or something, and
She called in. I was doing a Geraldo show, and Florence surprised me by calling in, and we were chatting. We've had a friendship from the first day we met, and I was kind of a hormonally driven teenager, and so my imagination and
you were the only one, I'm sure.
Fantasy exactly. I mean, like I'm the only teenage boy that ever had fantasies about people that they worked with, and especially slightly more mature women. And so I was always kind of coming on to her in one way or another. And so we got to chatting on the show, and she says, "Well, you know, Barry, I don't know that if I told you, but I kind of had a little crush on you too." Well, that got the old publicity mill rolling. But we did go out on a date and had a wonderful time. I was sweating bullets most of the time, trying to pretend like I was 35 and I was not quite 16, and a fairly innocent evening as well, which I detail. I have a chapter in the book called "Dating Your Mom."
Yeah.
It's only if it's your TV mom, however. And I got a little kiss at the end of the evening. No tongue, but it was still it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me. And in fact, 5 days ago, Florence and I, who still are good friends, went out to lunch, and we walked into this restaurant, and and all of a sudden it kind of got quiet, and then we sat down and we're talking, and you hear, "Oh, it's true. Look, they're over there. They're still carrying on. Oh my gosh!" And and you think, makes me want to go upstairs and order room service.
Yeah. When these tabloids do the kind of things that do that reporting, I saw one the other day where some part man, or part fish, part woman was washed up on the shore in Florida, where they doctor the photographs. And how seriously can you take any of this stuff?
Well, I would want to see her swim first.
Yes. I can't remember. I guess it was the legs of a woman and the body of a fish on top. It was
that's the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a dog!
But when they do this,
can I scale your back, dear?
when they
How about a little anchovy?
Yeah. As you live in Hollywood and you are the focus of some of this stuff, do you just write it off? Or are you concerned that people are going to take it seriously?
You know where it gets tough is with your family and friends, because they don't always. I know what the truth is and what's going on, so I read about it, and it's like reading a fiction magazine or a book or just a story about somebody else. But then, Mom will call up and say, "Barry, what is the deal with this Florence Henderson?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here?" Or they don't know which is so and which isn't true. So you kind of have to train everyone. But I try and take things with a grain of salt that way.
Is bad publicity better than no publicity at all?
In some ways, yes. I'll say this: that story sold a lot of books for me. I certainly answered a lot of questions about it, and the publicity was not in the direction that I would have taken the story, but it did create a fascination, and so as a result, probably more people have read Growing Up Brady than would have without it.
Which is available in the bookstores right now, I think.
It's still selling pretty well.
Yeah. Get that at Walden's or
I may do a book signing or two since I'm going to be here for a while.
Sure. In fact, you're here through March.
You're through March. I'm really excited about this little show. It's a cute show about a newlywed couple, and they are celebrating their 6-month wedding anniversary. Mm-hmm. It's a comedy. It's kind of farcical, and in walks her ex-fiancé, whom I really didn't really understand their relationship, and I get it testy with her and my wife, and so she invites my ex-fiancé, and she shows up, and then we get thrown into the mix, her mother, my mother-in-law, and lots of mistaken identities, and in one door, out the other door, that kind of stuff. And
almost like a farcical thing.
It is farcical, especially toward the end.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun.
Well, the Paisley convertible will be opening up on the 13th.
Yeah, not to be confused with the car. The convertible is a sofa.
Because people are wondering. Oh, I see.
Convertible sofa bed. See, and that's in the center of the, and a lot of
how
things,
would you get a car on the stage?
Exactly.
And
a lot of the show revolves around this bed. And all right, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm naked through most of it, either from the waist up or from.
I think maybe we ought
from the knees down.
We ought to pass along the ticket number right now.
For tickets, yes, that's right.
800-322-2304. 2304. My king is in studio with us too, who's got the enviable task of driving around Barry Williams these days and showing
I'm looking
around.
forward to it.
I was talking to Mary last night. We were going over a wardrobe, and she said, "Well, we need to get a shirt. We need to get the sport coat. We need to get your towel." I said, "That's right, but only 100% terry cloth. Nothing else touches this skin."
It's 11 before 11. 829-2345 is our number. Do you have a question? Hello. This would be a good time to get in if you have a question for Barry Williams. Good morning.
Hi. How are you? I had to get off my cordless phone.
Oh, you're on your cordless phone.
I was,
I
yeah.
see, okay.
Oh, hi, Barry.
Good morning.
I grew up with you.
Great.
Yeah.
That was me smiling at you from the little box up on the upper right-hand corner of your screen.
I saw that Geraldo that you were talking about when you and Florence were on there.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about it and what have you. I follow you guys through the years. I was wondering, have you ever seen any of the other cast members?
All of them. In fact, we're all in touch. They helped me a great deal in writing the book because I wanted to tell the story from their respective points of view as well. So they were sharing the same stories that I was talking about, but from their perspective and their point of view. And as a result, I'm kind of like the Brady Camp counselor. I know where everyone is and where they are, what they're doing. And if one Brady needs to get in touch with another Brady, oftentimes they'll call me to find out how to do it.
Oh, wow.
Anyone in particular you wanted to know about?
Well, basically Cindy, because she wasn't on the Or no, who was missing on the Brady Bunch Christmas?
That was Susan Olsen, who played Cindy, and she's fine. There are a lot of rumors about Susan. Being the youngest, she was confused with different child stars that have had more tumultuous pasts, and she is fine. She never turned to a life of crime. She never was a heavy drug user, never arrested. She's healthy, happy, and pretty. And just 3 days ago, she and I did a VICKI show, which is a talk show with Vicki Lawrence.
Oh, really?
Which will be on the third week of this month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The reason she wasn't on that show was just basically finances or something?
People, see, there's a funny thing. There are people who really don't know that I am a person apart from Greg Brady.
Yeah.
And Susan is a real person. And in her real life, she was getting married, as young people sometimes do, and she was on her honeymoon when we were filming. And so she opted to take the honeymoon rather than come in and join our show.
So all the rest of it was just speculation?
Speculation and made up and rumor and that kind of... Well, you see somebody is missing, and you can't imagine that they would want to miss, being in a family show. But, she'd been with the show for a long time, and she felt, I want to make a stand and have my own life here for a minute.
Right. Is there any chance that you guys will get back together and do something?
There has been talk of, I don't know what the status of it is right now, but Paramount announced plans to do Brady Bunch the movie. And yet something, have you ever heard of a show that could get ground up, spit out, turned around, and rerun like this?
Well, the Addams Family, I guess, maybe a spin-off.
And they're doing the Addams Family 2 right now, which I think is one of the reasons that the road has been paved for a Brady Bunch movie. But the concept for that, and I don't know how this is going to work yet, it would be to set it in the 70s, when our show was the most popular, which would require recasting the entire family. So the original Bradys, the Bradys that we know, wouldn't be in the movie, and we'll have to kind of see how that would pan out or be accepted.
Kind of like Batman.
Right, exactly.
Adam West is going, huh?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that would be as good, though. It wouldn't be as realistic.
No, because it really is it's the characters, it's the people on the original show that made you
hate it, right?
Like it and endeared it to you.
Well, that's one school of thought, and I kind of hope that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's still reruns on there. My daughter, she's 6 now, and I now and then I know all the episodes. I mean, I watched it growing up all the time and all the reruns and everything after they were stopped airing, and she sits there and, oh, Mom, because it's not 90s.
You don't...
The outfits were so classy, though, weren't they? The bell-bottom pants and the sideburns.
I don't suppose you had a chance to grab a copy of Growing Up Brady, but at the end of it, I detail every episode and what was going on behind the scenes.
Oh, right.
So a lot of people will watch the show and look up, episode 87, and you can see that this was going on and what was happening and who was in it, who didn't want to be in it, and anything that was anecdotal about the episode.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Barry.
Thanks much.
Bye-bye.
Paisley Convertible is a show I hope you can see. Hope you can get out there. 7 minutes in front of 11 at WJBC. We're going to have a market update coming very shortly, and then we'll continue to visit here. Today through Saturday, cloudy skies, also a chance of some light snow late today. You're just in time for that.
Flurry.
Mm-hmm. High of 30. Tonight, flurries, low of 24. Tomorrow, high about 29. And then Saturday afternoon, snow or snow with rain, high of about 32 degrees.
So, you've got a sore throat. How sore is it? And you took a candy-type cough drop. Well, you should have tried a Cepacol lozenge. And you, how's your throat? Oh, really sore, huh? You need a Cepastat lozenge. Skip the candy. Sore throats need Cepacol lozenges. Really, really sore throats need Cepastat lozenges. Use only as directed.
Every day, people with minor arthritis pain find relief thanks to Arthritis Pain Formula, caplets with maximum strength aspirin. Listen to Mary Maldonado of Bronx, New York.
I have arthritis pain in my hands. Typing is a killer if your fingers are bothering you. But I took Arthritis Pain Formula. It was a real clear improvement. Arthritis Pain Formula did give me relief.
Join the millions who use Arthritis Pain Formula from the makers of Anacin in the green box. Use as directed.
It's 5:30 in front of 11 o'clock, and we're talking with Barry Williams. Debbie, you got a question?
Yes. Hi, Barry. This is Debbie at the barn.
Hi, Debbie.
Listening to your talk show. It's great.
Well, thanks.
Hey, can you tell us what day of the week that show is going to be on?
I don't know yet, but it's going to be. I believe it's the third week in
the VICKI show.
Month, the VICKI show, right? The way you notice it, it's sitcom siblings. I think was the takeoff for the day. So you had Kathy Garver and Johnny Whitaker from Family Affair, and Danielle Steele and Ernest Thomas from What's Happening, and Grant Goodeve and Lainey O'Grady from 8 is Enough, and then I'm on the show with Susan Olsen. So if you check the TV guide, that's how you'd know.
Okay, I sure will.
Okay.
Well, see you later on this afternoon.
That you will.
Okay.
Get ready for rehearsal.
Okay, bye-bye.
5 in front of 11 o'clock at WJBC. Good morning. You have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I wanted to share an experience from the Brady Bunch.
Just remember, you are on the radio.
Is this like a first experience?
Hi, Barry.
Hello.
This is Lori.
Hi, Lori.
I grew up also watching the Brady Bunch, and I still watch it when I get a chance.
Okay.
One time, I remember watching the Brady Bunch. I was still in grade school. Jan had taken some lemon juice and tried to get her freckles off.
And
you remember that episode?
I do remember that. Now, is this something that you tried in your own home?
Yes. My face is full of freckles. I took the whole bottle of lemon juice out of the refrigerator and poured it on my face.
And it didn't work any.
Didn't take my freckles away.
And it didn't work on the Brady Bunch either.
I guess it didn't in the episode, huh?
My mom still talks about that.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And you bring up an interesting point, too, and that is a lot of people really would relate to the show like their own family.
Yeah. So you didn't get into things where people dyed their hair with clothes dye or something like that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we did.
Did you?
Not with clothes dye, but Bobby, the last episode we filmed in the entire series in the 5th year was an episode where Bobby sent away for hair tonic.
I remember that.
And that was an episode where no one else would try it. He got all this stuff, and no one else would buy any. So being the nice big brother, I volunteered.
I remember that one.
And then he poured it on my head, and then 2 seconds later, my hair was like orange and all straight. That was, by the way, a case in point. That was an episode that Robert Reed really put his foot down, and he said, "Look, this is ridiculous. You can't put." And then 2 seconds later, his hair is this weird color. And why would he agree to do that without testing it in the first place? And and he refused to be in that episode, and he was not in that episode.
I'll be darned. Yeah. We have to break for markets. Thank you for calling.
Thanks.
We'll take some more phone calls on the other side of the news.
Hi, I'm Dick Clark.
Hello, I'm Burt Reynolds.
I'm Dom DeLuise.
I'm Rona Barrett. I'm Linda Gray.
Hi, I'm Michael Landon.
Hi, I'm Ken Behrens, and whenever I'm with my friends, we always listen to The Munson Show. But I particularly like the guy that's on after him.
The spirit of McLean County, WJBC.
If you want to talk to Barry Williams, 829-2345 is our number, or 1-800-322-9377. You're in tune to the wonderfully entertaining Ken Behrens Show here at WJBC. And, gosh, I just had this is all I'm doing now. I feel like I'm more specialized again. I was trying my hand at acting just before you got here. I was working with Bernie Coppell, who plays tennis. He says he's a good friend of yours, and he says he always beats you at tennis.
He what? He may be a good friend, but he's also an opponent. across the tennis court. No, Bernie really. Bernie's a very serious tennis player. But in our meetings, he's told you he beats me?
I think that's what he said. I'm trying to remember.
In his dreams, he beats me. I come up. I am the most depressing thing that shows up on the tennis court for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I try and explain it to him though that it's nothing personal. It's just that I'm so much younger.
Oh, and that made him feel better.
And then he feels much better.
You must be. Well, we don't want to really give this away, although and people could figure it out, I suppose. But you probably are in your late 30s.
Well, I like to say 25 plus 13.
Ooh, okay. Let them figure it out.
And then let them go for it.
Yes. Paisley Convertible is the name of the show. We touched on this. It's not a car. It's a sofa that makes into a bed.
Into a bed and a convertible sofa, you know. And because this is a struggling young couple, I play an intern at New York Hospital, and I'm going through my residency. And we are trying to work out our relationship and try to understand one another. And through the course of the show, we don't understand a lot about each other, but get to know each other a lot better at the end.
Yeah.
You know what's fun about
And there's a lot of laughs in between all that.
What's also fun about this is how intimate it is. If you haven't ever seen this, the barn, of
The
course,
Conklin Players Dinner Theater.
they push the tables right up against the stage. So, if you turn your head too fast, you can, throw flop sweat on on the first few tables, which you may want to be in the first balcony for that.
Yeah.
But it really is an intimate
There
house.
won't be any flop sweat with you, though, huh?
Yeah.
You don't get all nervous about show, do you?
That's true. I don't get nervous, and I don't go to the bathroom anymore. It's in my contract. After the third year of the Brady Bunch, the immaculate. Sure, I sweat. You bet I sweat, and I don't care. It doesn't seem to make much difference if it's a small house or a big house. And that way, I get excited and get the adrenaline flowing for any show, any production that I'm doing.
It's
especially in the first couple of weeks when I'm not sure of my lines.
Yeah. Have you ever worked in those places that are so big it's almost like you're removed from the audience? You hear your voice coming back at you.
That's my least favorite, the arena type things. And yes, I have played those. And there are a couple. There's one in the St. Louis Muni, which is 14,000, and the Kansas City Muni, which is 11,000. And that's it's a little rough playing to the back row there.
Yeah.
And they're outdoor theaters.
You can't do card tricks.
No, you get away with a lot. But no, actually, of all the venues, this is the kind of thing that would be the most fun because the audience becomes so much a part of the show and of the evening and how it's flowing. As long as you don't clink your glasses and chew with your mouth open.
Okay.
Because we would know that, you see. Please stop chewing with your mouth open.
Most of the eating is already finished, I think, by the time the show starts. But it is fun. And this is really, I guess,
pass the salt, Margaret.
when you think about it, this is the way theater maybe works best. It also is maybe the oldest kind of theater because there weren't amplification systems and stuff years
people
ago.
like to eat and they like to be entertained.
And you don't need them at the Conklin Theater because of the way it worked out. It's just set up perfectly.
Right.
Acoustics are terrific.
Yeah, it can be a lot of fun.
That can be so frustrating. The Brady Bunch, by the way, is being done live. I see where they're doing the Honeymooners, and they're also doing I Love Lucy episodes on Broadway or just off Broadway.
That, I think, was pioneered by our show. Ours was the first to come back. Our producer, Sherwood Schwartz, invented the reunion show. He brought Gilligan's Island back for a 2-hour special, and that did well, and that spawned the $6 Million Man and the Beverly Hillbillies, et cetera, and the Brady Bunch. And these two little young producers who had grown up on the Brady Bunch lifted an episode right off the air, just copied the dialogue down verbatim, and then presented it in kind of a campy, nostalgic, kitsch way in Chicago at a little place called the Annoyance Theater. And lo and behold, it sold out and out and out for 6 months, 7 months. And
which was really an annoyance for the guy who said, that'll never work.
Exactly. And so they moved it down off Broadway, and it enjoyed a successful run down there for over a year. And then they took it out to Los Angeles at a place called the Westwood Playhouse near UCLA, where I saw it. And it was really a hoot. They set up the theater with throw pillows and bean bags and couches, and college kids are coming in bell bottoms, and, for just like a full-on heavy dose of the 70s.
Yeah.
And then they presented this show, and it was very funny, you're being, I wouldn't exactly say emulated, copied, kind of like in a Saturday Night Live kind of way, like when you see Dana Carvey doing President Bush, about as close to our characters as that.
Yeah.
And it's very fun, very fun.
You grew up in California, right?
I was born there.
And you wanted to be you saw television, so you said that's what I want to do, and became an actor.
Mine is the television generation. We grew up watching shows, and I said, I want to do that. I want to be in that. I want to be a part of that. And Peter Graves, who was not yet white-haired Mr. Phelps from Mission Impossible, but had another series called Fury from the late 50s and 60s, was a neighbor. And I said, that just looks cool as can be. So I went out and studied acting, and then that teacher recommended an agent, and the agent sent me out on interviews, and the first TV show I did was called Run for Your Life with Ben Gazzara in the late 60s, and then that led to other shows at Universal, Dragnet, and
the FBI, Marcus Welby, Mission Impossible, again,
It Takes a
Peter
Thief.
Graves, Policewoman, Three's Company.
That was a little later.
Murder, She Wrote.
Right.
And some of those
Later
came
still,
off after the Brady's.
So, yeah.
Who was the kid that was on? Now, this is trivia. This has got nothing to do with you. But who was the kid? You mentioned Fury, Peter Graves, the kid that played on there. There was another child actor.
I can't remember his name.
Could look it up.
I can't remember his name.
John Provost was a kid on Lassie.
Lassie, right.
And Tommy Reddy.
Crawford was the rifleman. And but I can't remember who that was.
Was there a way for you to get together with those kind of guys while you were growing up?
In fact, when I wrote Growing Up Brady, I mentioned Peter Graves in that, and I don't think he knew this. The way that I was originally inspired to go in the business was he has a daughter that's my age, and she was like my girlfriend. And I'd go over to their house, and I'd see him on television in the morning and wrapping up his garbage in the afternoon. And I thought, this is what I want to do. And I wrote that story, and I called Peter and told him about it, and he had already had a chance to look at it, and he thanked me for it, and it was really nice.
I've always looked at Peter Graves, then I've looked at Leslie Nielsen, and I think Peter Graves would look like Leslie Nielsen if the artists at Mad Magazine drew him.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true. Because his features are a little more extreme.
Yeah.
But so yes, we our paths cross quite a bit.
Yeah. It's 11:14 in the morning. We're talking about the Brady Bunch or Paisley Convertible. Anything you want to talk about, if you want to give us a call, 829-2345 is our number.
And if you stay tuned, we'll let you know who the kid was from Fury.
Yeah, I'll look that up in this book. January 13th is the day the show opens.
Right, that's just a week away. Oh, my gosh.
So
I better finish reading this script.
This week is going to be loaded with rehearsals for you.
Yeah, we'll be rehearsing all day, every day, and trying to get it in shape for Wednesday night, because we're going to start off on the right foot.
Yeah. Is that the way it's...
I think we're going to be in pretty good shape, though.
With a broken leg on the right foot.
We had a reading last night, and you break a leg. It's
going to be... You know where that came from?
No, I don't.
It may have been Coppell who told me this, or it may have gone... It may go back to Robert Reed.
Okay.
But it happened in this room one time we were talking about. Evidently, it goes back to when they meant take a bow.
Uh-huh.
And if you would bow in the traditional way, you actually bent your knee.
Uh-huh.
So you broke your leg.
Right.
It wasn't like, gee, we hope you wind up with a cast. Other than a healthy cast.
Am I glad I came in this morning?
See?
This is not a total loss.
Unless I got that wrong. No, that's right. It's 11:15.
It's the final weeks of a history-making sale at Ensign Burgers Furniture. The fantastic Ensign Burgers buyout sale must soon come to an end. Don't you miss this rare opportunity to save up to 70% off everything in the store. It's savings like never before at Ensign Burgers. Up to 70% off such famous names as Clayton Marcus, Crawford, Bassett, Rowe, Stearns & Foster, and more. All at Ensign Burgers buyout prices, but only while supplies last. Hurry to Ensign Burgers Furniture in downtown Bloomington during the buyout sale's final weeks. Ensign Burgers, you'll feel right at home.
Have you left your affairs to be decided by the state and the courts? If you haven't made out a will, that's exactly what you've done. If you don't have a will, state law and the courts will decide what happens to your property and who will take care of your children. You can take matters into your own hands by preparing your will today, and it doesn't have to cost hundreds of dollars. Call 1-800-727-5741 and order the Illinois Will Kit for just $22.95. The Illinois Will Kit gives you legal will forms that let you make provisions for your family and appoint a guardian for your minor children, and also includes living will forms and step-by-step instructions for completing and signing those documents. Laws differ from state to state, so don't settle for a generic will form that may not comply with your state law. With Illinois Will Kit, you can be sure that your wishes concerning your family and property are carried out. Order your Illinois Will Kit today for just $22.95. Have your Visa or MasterCard ready and call 1-800-727-5741. Get peace of mind. Call 1-800-727-5741 and order your Illinois Will Kit today.
Wouldn't you know it? I can't find Fury in that book. That's really upsetting. Mary, you had a question for Barry, didn't you?
Yeah. Hi, Barry.
Good morning, Mary.
I just finished your book last night. I'm a little bit younger than most of the generation. I was...
Rub it in.
Huh?
Rub it in.
I was born in '64, but I did watch quite a few of the Brady episodes, mostly in reruns. But I would suggest that anyone who's ever watched the show to get that book, because I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun writing it, too.
God, it brings back so many memories, and I think it was really well done. I like the part at the end where you go by each episode and kind of fill in the blanks and kind of give some notes on what actually happened behind the scenes, so it was really good.
Well, one of the things I used to guide myself as a criteria was, what would people want to know? What are the questions that I've been asked, and then I tried to answer them all.
That's great.
Thanks.
I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions, or were all your questions answered?
Part of your, I'm supposed to be working, so I just got part of the show, but I wanted to see if I could call and just mention that someone could, really have fun with that book.
Well, thanks, Mary.
There are a lot of photos, and like you say, it's set up. I just had a chance to glance at one this morning. I have to take a look at it in closer detail here. But let's talk about what went on behind the scenes.
I spent a couple of years with this. I knew that I would probably be the only one in the cast to write a book about it, and I had a unique insight to it because I saw it from the inside out. And so I took my time with it and tried to do it as comprehensively as possible.
It's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Childhood actors. A lot of them really are bitter. Who was the guy that was on...
There's several of them.
Bobby Blake. Bobby Blake is probably one of the
Robert Blake
most
is
outspoken.
very angry about that. Paul Peterson is another who's very upset about that. Jane North, who played Dennis the Menace, you'll hear him telling some pretty bad stories. Lauren Chapin, also Aaron Moran are very, very embittered by that.
That goes way back to Jackie Coogan. I mean, the Coogan law came about after, I think, his folks squandered his money or something.
Squandered his money. Mm-hmm. Most of the people... in fact, I think without exception, the people that really have trouble following notoriety in a series or being a child actor are people that had problems coming in. Look back at their family life and that wasn't stable. You look at them placing their values and priorities on things that are transitory, such as fame, such as money, such as popularity. And when it disappears, they feel like there's nothing left, that there's no self to go back to.
Yeah. Is it tough? I think it's tough for everybody when they hit that teenage area anyway. If you're a star before being a child, it's just about the time you're ready to date. The pimples start happening.
Just being a teenager today would be, and especially today, is tough enough. But then you add the mix of responsibility, of money, of fame, and it doubles.
And you had your finger on it. I think it's much worse to come down than to be climbing up someplace too. It's like if you're
much harder. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Is that what I said? I guess that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and also in this business, it doesn't help you to be famous as a kid. If you're to make a transition and become an actor as an adult or a successful adult actor, it's almost as though you have to live down your earlier fame and earlier rise.
Of course, let's see, Mickey Rooney. Everybody remembers he and Judy Garland, but he goes back even before that. Mickey McGuire silent comedies were made with Mickey Rooney. He had a cigar and a derby hat. And,
he's one of the few exceptions that has really made it. And again, I think he's made it despite the fact that he was the #1 box office for years. Yeah. And that, too, was another system. That was the studio system when they were out pushing and promoting their stars and planning their lives and all of their public appearances. And that was a whole comprehensive package that we don't enjoy today.
And he never grew up. Height-wise or...
he never did. He wants to write a book, by the way, on how to make a successful marriage.
It's 11:23 in the morning. Do you have a question? Good morning.
Yeah, I was wondering, what was the inspiration to the deal with the episode to the UFO?
I think they were running out of story ideas. And James McDivitt the astronaut decided he wanted to be an actor, so we built a show around it. Those ideas are supplied by writers who pitch to the studios an idea for the Brady Bunch or any episode, any program that's on, and that was one that was accepted and developed.
I was told, I mean, that's not right. If there's one way to get into the business, it's be a writer. I mean, that's one way, because they're always looking for scripts.
Well, they're always looking for good scripts, but, there are a lot of talented writers out there that are trying like mad to get their stories and ideas bought.
Yeah. In fact, every waitress and waiter out in California, I think, is running around with a script in their pocket, aren't they?
Yeah, and a lot of actors and actresses are waiting tables, too, which is is telling to how tough it is.
In Los Angeles, if you go to a restaurant, you say, "Hey, actress."
Yes, exactly. For a long time, people that wanted to meet the really big stars to get autographs didn't go to Hollywood and Vine. They went to the unemployment office to meet them there.
Yeah. Sir, was that your question?
That was it. I was just wondering.
Yeah. I take it you were a fan of the show, if you remember some of those.
Oh, yeah. It was a few centuries ago, but I still remember some of them.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much for calling in, son. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Appreciate it. WJBC.
Hi there. I just wanted to call just so I could tell my sister and my best friend from junior high that I talked to Barry Williams.
Well, you sure did. Good morning to you, and thanks, and hi to your sister.
Okay.
If you get out to Conklin's, I bet you'd actually get a chance to meet him in person, and he may even sign. I'm not going to make work for you, but I bet you'll hang around, won't you?
That's all part of it. Like I said, this is it's kind of a family type atmosphere, and I expect that after the show, I'll be coming out and talking, and I'm sure I'll have my book out there, and I'll sign books if people would like to have them signed.
Barry will be selling sweatshirts, T-shirts, caps,
8x10s, coffee mugs.
I know when I was growing up, Friday at 7 o'clock, the street would just empty of kids. Everybody ran into each other's houses to watch the show.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Well, bring your neighborhood friends, too.
Well, I've moved since then. They're not around, but
Okay.
maybe I'll come and enjoy it anyway.
Well, I'd like that, thanks.
Okay.
You be sure and say hey.
I already do that. Okay. Bye-bye.
WJBC, good morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to call and tell Barry that I'm 25 and I still watch the Brady Bunch.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you.
20, you sound older than 25 to me.
Well, I don't know. People...
He's studying to be a DJ.
Yeah. You want to get that voice way down there.
Way down. Maybe it's just I sound important or something.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
it. What do you do for a living?
Believe it or not, I work at a rental company here in town. It's called Easy Pay Rentals.
Okay.
So, Barry, stop on by and rent something.
If I need a tractor, you got one? Snowplow?
Rent like beds and furniture and stuff like that.
Appliances? VCRs?
VCRs, yeah.
All right. TVs?
TVs.
All right.
Well, we got a free plug for you.
Okay.
Thanks.
There you go.
Thank you. Bye.
Send your $40 to...
Yes, to Ken Behrens.
WJBC.
No, I can't do that.
No.
That's a quick way to get right off of the... well, it's the
Soupy sales.
unemployment line there.
Exactly.
Or some of those people out there. You've been keeping pretty busy. You tell me that one of the things you've been doing mainly since the Brady Bunch is live theater. So
That's been my staple. My bread.
Didn't you also sing?
I still do.
I mean, I'm sorry. I am sorry. You're still...
Good night.
Weren't you
alive once?
I mean, it comes off like I don't call that singing.
Yeah,
but no, you really do.
City of Angels is a musical, as was Pippin. I played Pippin here on the first touring company in Peoria, in fact, as well as Indianapolis, and so yeah, singing has been a big part. In fact, as large a part of my career as acting since the early '70s.
Yeah.
Do you find people see they only know the theme song and they think he's going to make a career on that?
Yeah. Well, Ricky Nelson had the same problem, didn't he?
Well, not so much because Ricky was doing solo songs, every week.
But wasn't that what was the garden party all about? Went to a garden party?
Exactly. Kind of coming to terms with how people would perceive him and who he really was. But that's part of what this thing is about. The business is not exactly as much as who you are as how you're perceived. Mm-hmm. And if people think of you as a teenager, then you've got to go through all that all that whole process.
Yeah. Do you have kids of your own?
No, I don't.
Okay. After the Brady Bunch.
I've had enough. I've had enough of that. But I have all the shows taped.
So you feel like you want a family.
A dose of family.
Yeah. WJBC, good morning.
Yeah, I have a question for him real quick.
Okay.
How long did the Brady Bunch run? I watched it. I grew up with you. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how long the series ran.
What's your name?
Lorna.
Uh-huh. It ran originally in prime time 5 years. And we've done 4 reunions since then.
Mm-hmm. I watched the Christmas special. I loved it.
We had the Brady Girls Get Married and the Brady Brides and the Variety Show and a Very Brady Christmas, and the Bradys.
Wow, you had a lot, huh?
A lot. It's been a big part of my life.
Yeah?
Big part of my life. Like a real family.
Yeah, sounds like you guys are real close.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours a week would you actually have to work on that? I mean,
we were there about 10 hours a day, 11 hours a day.
So you really had school at the studio?
Oh, yes. Yeah, and we had 2 tutors, as a matter of fact. One for the high school, that was Marcia and Greg, and then one for the little kids, the other 4, and any little friend guest.
So do you feel as if you were really gypped out of a childhood, maybe? You were older at that time. You were the oldest one, I suppose.
I was 14. I don't think, not out of my childhood, out of my teen years. Not gypped out of it, but it was certainly different than it would have been if I'd gone to the regular Friday night high school football games. But it's a trade-off. I'm not sorry about that. What happens, though, is you pick it up later. Like I'm in my mid-20s, I'm going through my teenage rebellion.
You're just starting out, huh?
Exactly. So, but finally, it kind of all came together at the mix.
Well, it turned out to be good, and I enjoyed watching it. It was just kind of related here.
Well, I hope you get a chance to see him in Poison at the Conklin Players Dinner Theater.
Where's that at?
Goodfield.
Oh, okay.
Got a pencil handy?
Just a minute. Here.
Jot this down. It's
okay.
1-800.
Okay, whoops. Wait a minute.
322.
Oops, wait a minute.
23.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, 1-800.
1-800. Okay, go ahead.
322.
Okay.
23. 3204.
04. Okay.
322-3204. Is that it?
7896 14. I'm just kidding. How many digits was to write down?
No, wait,
you only
what
need
was
the
it?
first ones we gave. It's 1-800
This time, I'm not sure.
322 2304. I was having
2304.
fun with. I was being.
Okay, he got it.
I tell you, if you get to Goodfield, you cannot miss it.
Yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
here. I'll go right now.
Look for the
Depending on a friend. Right
Eureka. Well, the Goodfield Eureka exit, and you just take it.
That's it.
Yeah, and when you call the number, they'll explain how to get there.
Okay, well,
because the signs aren't real big.
Well, good luck with whatever else you have to do.
Thanks for calling
All
in.
right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's visit again maybe later on in the run. How about
I
it?
like that. I hope you'll come out and see the show, too.
I will definitely do it. And every time I go out there, I have a ball. I really do. And
It's a fun place.
You are going to have a great time.
I'm
with
looking
those
forward to
people.
getting started.
Yeah. Barry Williams and the Conklin Company in Paisley Convertible opens up next Wednesday and runs through March
21.
March 21. Okay. Very nice to meet you.
Thanks again. We'll see you again.
Pleasure. Okay. Conklin's is the place. It's 11:31. News comes your way right now.